Hello everybody, this is episode 8 of my playthrough of the Lies of P DLC Overture. In the previous episode, we were in this very room defeating the Angus Guardian of the Ruin. I was telling you guys how it was probably the most difficult boss for me in the DLC. It had a strong learning curve, and now right ahead we find another little secret, something to read, a forbidden book, The Wish Granter, a damaged book with a handwritten warning label. Be warned, this heretical text is designated false scripture. Unauthorized possession will be punished. And so, number appeared in a vision, the saint described as follows. The being's alluring eyes alternated in color between gold and rust, depending on the light, but they paled next to its magnificent smile, a most amicable expression. Number had a smile that offered wisdom and benevolence. It could make wishes come true. At that moment, I knew for certain this seemingly benevolent being was very dangerous indeed. For Number did not know of good and evil. Number appears to bear humanity's only goodwill. Number also reflects the desires of those around it, striving it to make them happy. But this being is only a mirror. It cannot comprehend the moral compass of good and evil. And those who ask for their wishes to be granted will in the end see the results they've brought. A hell built from brick after brick of good intentions. As my last wish, I asked Number to return underground. In this way, the world will remember only its supreme benevolence. Bit of a reference there to Nietzsche's of good and evil, right? And similar themes as well as in the book. I think that it's obviously referencing the guy that we just beat. Just, from the location, going back on the ground, granting wishes, being a god, all of that has to do with him. But it's references to being beautiful and things like that make me think that maybe with time it was deformed, or like, I don't know, something happened when it was captured, because what we fought was certainly not beautiful, and it didn't just bear humanity's goodwill. What we fought wasn't in the mood for wishes, So if it was that, it deformed with time. Obviously, the time of the saint, which we know from base game, the saint guy that we fight, the form himself, is very far ago and far away in time. So maybe, they've just been in contact with this creature for too long, and it just, whatever it touches, it deforms, if it were to be the same thing. Let's continue on and see what we have ahead. We have so much to talk about today. Full of unexpected plot twists. I broke a toe, I've had my jaw issues, barely can speak, had a medication reaction to a painkiller as well. It's been strange. Trying to, get through. This has been a weird year. I don't know what to tell you. Let's focus on the playthrough. I don't want to yap too much about my sorrows when you guys are not around to, properly tell you how I'm feeling. I'm okay, and that's, I'm alive, and that's what matters, right? Moving on, we went down an elevator to sort of a new area. We know that at the end of this, there's like a secret, like a secret exit, it said, right? And now we're in sort of that area. We find a camp full of items, and there's a note from Leia here. It says, to whoever finds this place in the future, feel free to use anything you find here as you see fit. I don't need them, but perhaps these items will prove useful to you. The world grows more dangerous every day. Whoever you are, I pray for your survival. Leia FM. The FM is Florence Monad, right? We've kind of known now that she's going between those two. And we find like a bunch of goodies in the box next to it. And we also find a request to a friend. as well. Let's listen to it.
If you've received this message, then I'm likely dead. Either I have been cut down by a blade, or I have succumbed to the disease consuming my body. I don't know which will find me first. But before the end, I will save Romeo. And I have a request. Take care of him. Please, do this for me. If he gets any foolish ideas about exacting revenge or completing my mission, stop him. You have my permission to slap him if that's what it takes. And tell Romeo. Tell him to be happy.
A bit of a bittersweet message, and right away we have another one back to back from Arlecchino. Let's listen to this one as well.
To my dearest and most esteemed stalker, I wish I could personally see your face this very moment. How do you like my masterpiece? I poured my very soul into it with all my heart. I trust there is no need for formal introductions, of course not, for it is I, your dear Arlecchino. You took many things from me. Arms, legs, a sunny outlook on life. And then you drove nine blades through me. All on your own. So, I have only you to thank, yes? I am grateful. Never in my life have I ever known such shameful disgrace and such overwhelming joy. You heard it correctly. Joy. For in that moment, my dear, you became interesting, worthy of my attention and study. All humans are intriguing to me, but you shall help me shape my study of humanity, my magnum opus. Yet, one can never be too careful. So, you must be assessed. Starting now. My dear stalker, I have crafted a test that will reveal your heart, your soul, your true self. It's a simple choice. Life is precious, so I wonder, which life do you value more? Yours or your apprentice's? When you have listened to this message, do pay a visit to the Rose Estate. I have something you want back, don't I? And you only stalker one way or another. I intend to collect that debt.
And back to back, from bittersweet to completely bitter, we go and see Arlecchino's message. In the base game, he was very much crafted to be inspired, I guess, by the Joker. In some of these recordings, you can really tell the inspiration. His parallel was with Vanini being Batman, kinda, in the story that they made for him. You know, a young, entrepreneurial, brilliant mind that parents get killed, and this guy calls on the phone and he's always laughing and being twisted. So yeah, it was a little bit of a Batman and Joker moment. And he continues to be very adamant on revenge. He says some things that are important in his note as well. Obviously, now we know exactly where to go.
We still have time. Leia must be headed to the Rose estate. If we can save Leia and Romeo, I think this is our shot at changing things.
Like they are saying, we have to go to the Rose estate now. And this is sort of in that direction, the area that we're about to explore. We're on a time crunch because he is saying that he is going to kill Romeo, so we have to get there, you know, soon enough or see what has happened. He also mentioned something interesting. He lost his arms and he was stabbed 9 times, and I think the first time around when I played this I didn't pay enough attention to that little detail, and now looking back on it is very interesting that he says exactly sort of what he's going to do. Going down on that cliff, please don't do what I did. There is a safe way to go down without losing any health. This is a bit of a tricky area. Nothing too bad, nothing to die too many times, but you know, still tricky nonetheless. That thing upstairs was another one of the times that I thought, oh, I could definitely jump, but then I did not remember how to jump. I mentioned before that I just didn't remember how to jump for most of the game, unfortunately. In Leia's message as well, I wanted to mention that she's talking to a friend. She's saying like, oh, if a friend comes behind me, and obviously she's not talking to Pete because she doesn't know Pete. So the assumption is that she's talking to Alidoro, or you know, the dog, her friend, the tracker is what his name is in here. That's at least what I thought originally. It's not very clear which way we're supposed to go, so I was looking around to see which of the two it would be. Turns out upstairs goes right back around, so that's where I went to check. I was a little confused, to be honest. And I was whiffing as well, which is never good. But I had enough time to recover, and then I got by the guy who was waiting for me. Unfortunate. Let me fast forward you to being right there. Okay, here we are to pick our souls back where we left it. You know, yesterday I had an unfortunate reaction to a medication that I took for pain relief when I broke my toe, and I was extremely dizzy all day. I'm being a little dizzy today as well, now when I'm recording this. Seeing the camera move around and not playing it myself has always been an issue to me, and I think I just have a little remnant from that yesterday. I'm gonna try to I already said I wasn't gonna overshare too much or complain too much. I'm gonna try to keep it, see if I record it on time. I don't want to have any, you know, skips of days leave you guys waiting. At least the heat is not too bad these days, you know. It's okay enough to record in the room. A dog waiting for me in that area. That doesn't seem fair. Let's see what the box had, right? An ancient disc. I've mentioned this before almost in every episode, but you do not to wait to spend all of your ancient discs if you have already bought the golden record like I did. Then you can continue on and use them as you please. There is a little collar that you can buy and give to the cat. Tons of cute things that you can do with those discs. It's the new trade of the DLC. I was admiring the view for a moment there and seeing that the road sort of divides in two, checking the upstairs, checking the downstairs. I'm not too sure I explored this as thoroughly as I explored other areas, but I tried my best. This little room right here, bit of a tricky one with tons of enemies inside. A dog waiting. Yeah, it wasn't very fair. Give me a part 2 on this one, right? I'm gonna fast forward you until that moment and show you that I came back for my revenge, I promise. Actually, I died one more time. But now I'm going to actually fast forward you. Sir. I swear. And there we are. Just just waiting, picking up my things. Murdering. You think this place is gonna be worth it? I don't think so. Good thing the dog bursted and didn't kill me with that, right? It feels like I'm fighting a little bit messier than I have been up to that point, but they were freaking me out. It was such a tight room. Anyway, more items that I'll never use, but very useful items that I absolutely recommend. I was trying to see if I could fall and do damage to this guy. Yeah, not too bad. 1,800 for completely falling all of a sudden. And this is one of those that puts bombs in the floor, so make sure to, you know, play it safe. Leave some distance between you and the guy when he's done putting bombs. Typically those red attacks, yeah, like with a red hand like that, he's gonna put one. I was getting my little booty handed, but once you see that you can get the perilous attack or whatever, like the visceral, it's kind of all cheeks from there, isn't it? Oh boy. Tanky, huh? Consider upgrading your levels if you're in this area. Alright, proceeding onwards. I'm not sure that I really explored through and through this area looking back on it. Like maybe there was a couple of nooks and crannies that I missed, but I promise you there wasn't anything too significant in there. It's an empty painkiller bottle on the road. A bottle of the painkillers used by Leia is completely empty. An overdose can be fatal for the average person. Painkillers cannot cure the petrification disease, nor can they effectively alleviate the suffering. Yet, there are some who struggle to even live without becoming dependent on painkillers. Very appropriate bottle to find for me today that I'm on painkillers for breaking bones. Obviously, Leia has a much more difficult fictional disease than just a little toe. Once you get to the Stargazer, you can talk to Jiminy. Let's go do that.
Hey, about what I said before. Just think, if we can save them here, we could alter Krot's future. For the better, I hope. But put that aside. Leia's fighting alone. How could we not help? So, what do you say, pal?
And he's talking about how he thinks that we can make the future better by intervening in what's happening right now. And I guess that's the question of the DLC. At some point, you know the story, right? You know how everything is gonna end. And the question is, will it be for the better? Are you intervening for good? The
This
merchant to
wretched
the left
cold.
side.
What I wouldn't give for a strong drink. Indeed, it feels as if we're at the end of the world here. Something scarred this place. The alchemists and their deadly infighting. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a living, breathing merchant who wants to stay that way. Let's stick to business.
This merchant to the left side has a disc that you can buy for 9,000 ergo. I did not have enough ergo to buy the disc, so I had to go in and sell. Once you have the correct amount, you can go ahead and purchase the Lizrim Golden Record. Reminder that I'm playing this in New Game Plus, which is important. Also take a look to the Giant's Amulet and the Duelist Amulets to the left. The Giant's Amulet, at some point, we will come back and get it for something. I'll let you guys know in that moment. For now, a reminder that we're playing this in New Game Plus. It's important so that way the golden records are available at the merchants. Otherwise, you would have to do the whole game again and get all the way up to here to get those golden records. In my opinion, it's much easier to do it in a single playthrough after you've already finished your base game trophy hunting. That would be the ideal save to do it on. Yes, the enemies will be a little difficult all along in the DLC, but at least you'll only have to do it once. And personally, I thought the scaling of my own damage was enough to sort of make it worth it for all the extra damage that I was taking. Let's hear the song that we just got. As always, these are so beautiful. One of the best ideas for a collectible that I've gotten the pleasure to trophy hunt in a game. I don't think it gets better than that. We're in a new area, a shipwreck area. I wouldn't say this was my favorite. It was a bit of a mess, and I felt like we were going around in circles at times. And like I didn't know what was the right way or where, they're telling you to go to the Rose Estate, right? And there were times that I didn't know which direction the Rose Estate would be. But that's sort of the beauty of the game. I said it before, snow is not my favorite environ either, so could live without it. I did like the enemies around here, lots of alchemists, and the lore was interesting as well. We'll get to deal with that a little bit. But yeah, we'll see some deaths as well, because these are hard. Not right here though, I'm ulting on this guy. Easy peasy. We got an advanced crank for that, and you can go upstairs, so you can go downstairs. But right here downstairs, you get like a little dead end with a box. You check that out. You get a frenzied amulet out of that. So, not a bad deal for being thorough. Now going back upstairs, we have a gun guy. Not my favorite. But you hit them enough, they let you be, right? You hear the noises, you know it's coming. It's a guy. This room sort of reminded me of Return of the Obra Dinn. I don't know if you guys have... Some of you guys have played that. Some of you who I know will be watching this have played that. But yeah, this boat had those vibes for me. Maybe that's because that was my last boat game that I played, and I just... It's what I have fresh in my memory. I like the scenery, but it was a little crowded for how long this seems to have been uninhabited. We get a letter to family, an unsent letter. The handwriting is messy, as if written in a hurry. Marion, you must take the children. Leave everything and flee the moment you read this letter. Do not seek out relatives for safety. Just go and find a place unknown to anyone else. Simon, that devil won't be satisfied until all who oppose him are dead. And it doesn't say who wrote the letter. Simon, obviously, they're talking about Simon Menace, right? Like the boss from the first game, leader of the alchemists at the time that we start base game. It's an interesting sort of aftermath to his power grab. I think what they're referencing here, or like setting up to reference here. We continue on the downstairs. You have another one of those guys with like the double cane sword kind of thing. It's a cool weapon. I'm not sure if that weapon is in the game. I think maybe in base game. Somebody tell me in the comments if you guys use that weapon. There's actually a boss coming up. I don't want to spoil it yet, but who uses one of my favorite weapons in the game. At least one of my favorite to look at. Yeah, it's a weapon from base game, the umbrella. I always thought the umbrella was so classy and cool. Alright, now we're back outside and you think, oh, the worst is over, I'm done with the boats. You're wrong. You're wrong, you're only ever started. Oh look, a new enemy. A little fishy fish. And you kill it in one hit and you think like, oh, that fish is easy. Just wait until you see its moveset later on. They're freaking annoying. Yeah, there you go. A little taste of 500 hits in a single time. The way to go forward, believe it or not, is this plank right over here. Oh, and a little fish scaring me, and a guy waiting. Yeah, how is that fair? A fish jumps from behind and kills me. Well, let me fast forward to getting there again. How about that? Yes. And here I am. I kind of just ran through, if that's okay. I wasn't missing a whole lot, and I didn't want to just kill everyone all over again. They seem to be fighting together. By the way, the military man hates the fish as well. So that was a favor he did to me. Saved me some hits from the fish. Now that we're past that little hiccup, that unfortunate little hiccup, we enter yet another boat to get lost at and to not know where I'm going at. It's there's like a stairs down there, but there's also like a way back if you turn around here. That goes into, yeah, into the back of the boat. There's not any enemies right now. Just a little note that says correspondence from beyond the sea. A scroll carrying the soft scent of fine ink. To my respected brothers and sisters of the truth, your correspondence was well received. I cannot hide my awe regarding the events occurring there beyond the sea. Time and again, I am enlightened by your profound learnings. I can only respond with my thanks. The golden medicine enclosed in your recent communique was most welcome. I have confirmed its efficacy on patients suffering mild symptoms of the stone disease, those whose lungs were not yet affected. Fortunately, it seems eradication of the disease on our shores is possible, as only some coastal residents show symptoms. Many lives are being saved thanks to the teachings of the Brotherhood. I shall post additional updates from across the sea soon. My wish is that you remain safe and well until then. May we someday meet, my brothers and sisters, here in the land of the Radiant Dawn. Because of the references to the land of Radiant Dawn and the ink and the way the scroll looks, I think they're talking about basically the Japan equivalent, right? Across the sea. But more specifically, where the hero of the East comes from, where Eugenie comes from, where the bow comes from, where maybe Alidoro comes from, where maybe, I don't know, the original guy behind the mask comes from. I think there is some lore relating to that. And I'm actually curious to know what all happened in the lands of the Radiant Dawn later on, because they're saying that they might be able to eradicate the petrification disease, or the stone disease as they call it. So maybe things didn't go as dire as they went for Krat. And we know that Krat is sort of an experiment from Paracelsus and his colleagues, his immortal colleagues and whatnot. So I'm curious to know if they also experimented with the land of the Radiant Dawn, and the constant like exchanges and reminders it's a very distant lore of Krat, their contact with the Radiant Dawn, but it's an interesting contact nonetheless, and I think it means something, whether it is for this game as a background lore or for the future on other stories to pick up and make worlds around. I'm not sure. That's where I'm not really sure what will be. if I decide where to go, if I go up or I go down. If we continue on from down the stairs here, we get to a room with a single guy at the end. I tried to ult on him, but I really couldn't. It was a bit shameful. But then I did a little more. He's not too hard, to be honest. I mean, I know I'm kind of dying to him. He has a little knife. He's just really fast. But if you keep your distance, you will crit him soon enough. You'll get like that, the visceral attack, and once you have that, are you really that are you really that bad? No, you're not. You can do it. So I'm seeing that I can continue outdoors from here, but I can also go up from that ladder I saw. So I have to go back and check it. I'm very indecisive as to where the wind takes me. It was getting complicated to really see what was the continuation in this area. And you'll see why as well. Okay, right here we have a guy who was waiting for me but was never expecting me to be. I would talk too soon. He was completely expecting me, and on the last moment he gets me. Let's come get my revenge, okay? I'm gonna zoom you forward. I die on the way in, by the way. So I'm killing the gun guy first this time around, if I can. Oh lord. Get your distance. Now I only have the second gun guy. Fire abrasive on the road. I'm actually running away, kinda. Alright, let's see it. I get him to fall on the floor. That's like half his health right there. And he's dead, and it's just me and the gun guy now. A little panic, a little treacherous. I can't believe he parkours back. He's actually gonna win. Never mind. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm sorry, that was so embarrassing. Now if I continue forward here, right over the bridge, you get to a little cave area that confused me even further because he had a stargazer, so I did not know what to do. I was like, is this a continuation? Was the other one a continuation? I guess, you know, it's up to you which way you want to go. Because now when I saw this place, I was certain that I was going in the wrong direction. So I went back the same way I got here. And of course all of the guys were alive again, so I either had to be really fast or get out of the way really fast. I opted for killing them to make myself feel a little better. Not so bad when you have a bonfire right behind you, huh? Not so scared when there is 0 stakes. So going down the steps and basically towards that very area that we're seeing in the distance. I'm trying to figure out, you know, what's in there. So it turns out they're both a way forward and they both look at, they just kind of meet up at the same point later on. It's worth exploring them both as you get, you know, different things from either path, but I wouldn't say you're missing a whole lot either if you don't go one way. So now we're back outside. We have all these boxes over here that look like they made me very upset. We have fish and ballers, and everybody wants a piece of pea. I had a nice parry on the fish, so that helped me. The fish can absolutely knock you off the ice. Don't even think for a moment that you will be safe. Oh, another nice parry on the second fish. If you had noticed, the fish blood, it's kind of dark and goopy. It reminded me of Dredge. Excellent game, by the way. If you guys are in the mood for a little indie game. This guy and a fish at the same time, and of course I fall into the water. Hardly my fault. It was quite convoluted in it. I'm zooming forward, all the same things we did. Seeing if I get anywhere different this time. I run past everyone like I don't care, and then I take a sharp right to see what's up over there, and I find yet another bonfire. Now I'm truly confused. My friend's over here trying to hit me a bunch, and he's kind of getting it. Yeah. You know what? It's okay. I'm right next to the bonfire. What a mess. This is certainly one of those things of like, dress me slowly that I'm in a hurry, as the saying goes in Spanish. Cause, I mean, I really needed to slow down on that mess, didn't I? There is 2 paths ahead as well here. You will never believe it. And there is no way to return to the way I just came over, unless, you know, I travel to a different bonfire. So I'm thinking what to do. We'll get to do it all in due time. For now, I went in and talked to this guy, Salao, which means salty. The old fisherman.
Fish.
See what he has to say.
You and I. For 3 days and 3 nights we battled. I never slept nor ate. I fought and fought until I triumphed. They all said I would never catch any fish. But I am a fisherman. The last fisherman of Krat. If not I, then who? I rowed out to prove that even the greatest fish of the sea could not defeat me. Indeed, I did. I caught it. I fought the beast for 3 days and 3 nights. No food, no sleep. In the end, I caught it with my bare hands. A great toll is taken on my body. Why? Because I am a fisherman, of course. The petrification disease, carcass monsters, none of that matters. Any day the sun also rises, so does the tide. And a fisherman must head to sea to bring in the catch. That's what I wanted to teach the fools in the village. You would help an old man? Refreshing in one so young. All right, go to the village and find that foolish brat, Manolin. Find him and tell him I caught the fish. And get the beer he holds for me. After battling this fish for 3 days, I am exhausted. It's Time to celebrate my triumph. And a beer is just what I need.
He gives a little bit of an Ishmael, Moby Dick kind of vibes. He gives us a quest. He tells us, you know, to go back to his apprentice, get a little refreshment for him after fighting so hard against the fish. He's all beat up, but he's okay. Now, redoing what I was doing earlier, exploring a little bit around and then coming back. Let's see if I can finish all of the empty paths that I have open right now at the moment. First, let's go and try to kill the fish area that keeps killing me. I'm gonna fast forward you through this area since it's just the run back to that point that we've seen already. And once I'm there, let's see if I can fight the fish and the guy and everybody in between. Health is not looking great for it. But I think I get it. I got 33k laying on me. You see how the ice cracks there? I was not sure that I was not sure that that was a thing. Scary, to say the least. Okay, here comes the guy. Here comes the sun. He's not too hard, in my opinion, but you know, you wouldn't want to meet him at night either. I did all my ults right at the beginning. Half his health is gone. Got a visceral. Got my visceral out. And then he was. Seriously though, if you actually have to see the moves, maintain some distance, keep back, you know, the usual. We get a frosted cipher machine out of that. It says a mechanical device containing cipher records. This is the stuff that we have to take back to the tracker and in Krat. So now we have a new little quest to do as well. The hole where he comes from, we can't do anything about it. But, you know, we can proceed, sit on our Stargazer, and then go back to Krat and try and decipher it, see what the tracker can tell us about it. This quest has many steps. Once we're back at the hotel, we give it to him.
Any enemy of the alchemists is a friend of mine. Come to me anytime. This is a surprise. None of the keys I have fit this cipher machine. I thought I'd gathered nearly all of them. Perhaps one of the alchemists or one of their associates possesses the key. They often conceal cipher keys in their clothing. If you bring me the garments of any suspicious persons, I'm sure I can reveal the secret pockets.
And he tells us that right now at this moment he cannot decipher it, that we need a key. And he also gives us a little hint as to where that key might be, saying that if we find some dead alchemists or some alchemists in general that we kill, to check their pockets. So maybe when we get any new clothing that belongs to an alchemist, we, you know, will receive the key for this particular cipher. It's a quest that's part of a trophy, so you have to keep up with it. The problem is that, you know, it takes a little moment to really get the hang of it, I guess, to get the steps lined up for you. If you proceed forward in here, you get to an empty room that looks suspiciously a lot like an arena, and we'll have that surprise boss that I talked to you about earlier. Right, waiting right around here.
How in the world are you still alive? You really are one of the luckiest fellows I've ever met. All that effort to stop you down the drain. Proud of yourself? It's no great mystery, lad. For myself, obviously. Wait, you expected some grand speech on justice, honor, and duty? Meaningless concepts in this world. No speeches, just action. I just need to carry out my part in Sir Simon's grand plan. And then, I'll reap all the rewards I have sown. Whoever lives, dies, or fights means nothing to me. Let us take you, for example. You think your story means anything? You are a nuisance. To be disposed of. A nobody. Veronique was a nuisance too. One who dug too deep. The legendary stalker and the leader of the sweepers. Two troublesome sides of the same coin. It is indeed unfortunate that my trap built for two snared only one. That so-called legend, Leia Florence, evaded my scheme. But you know where she is. Don't you? I'm so glad you mentioned this. Of course, I too want only peace. You see, I abhor violence. We are not savages, my good fellow. I am grateful the alchemist dealt with Veronique. I find such things distasteful. Now, it's your turn. And what could be a more peaceful solution than you simply not resisting and allowing me to do what I must?
Well, Lumaki, leader of the bastards, wielder of the umbrella. In my opinion, he's the best crafted human-sized enemy in the game. His moves are amazing, his phases are great as well. He has a heal, very complex for a human-sized boss. I thoroughly enjoyed him. It was my favorite fight to do in the game, base game or DLC with a human-sized enemy. I felt like he was so fair and cool, and his lore flip-flopping around as well like a little rat. Is maybe in the style of Patches, yeah, playing for two teams whenever it's convenient, begging for mercy when he loses, but you know, being capable of some fighting as well. Not too bad. One of the things here is to keep control of your heals as you're bringing him down, because he's a longer fight than it seems, since he can heal. Not too bad for a first attempt, obviously, getting a little further in. He says that he has, aligned with the alchemists because they have the cure for the petrification disease, right? Which he doesn't want to fall down with Crad. And now you see him here. Yeah. A surprise third phase where he transforms. He takes a medicine that the alchemist gave him, and all of a sudden he's at the beginning when we met him. Remember when we asked him what year it was, and he said, "Have you taken a strange medicine?" Or something like that. He says, "Yeah," and And he's like, don't take any medicine if it's not directly from the hands of the alchemists, right? And look at him now. He took it directly from the hands and he's still transforming into a beast. He still got a dud. So a bit of a cautionary tale. I really like that about his quest as well. Let me fast forward you to when I won. I died a couple of times here that I didn't record every death that I had, but let's just say it was like half an hour of being here or so. Alright, here's the winning attempt. Let's see what I got up to with it. Like I was saying, it wasn't a long time here. It was more of like just getting that final phase down and adjusting to the change of pace. I was trying to time my dancing and prancing. I wasn't getting super lucky with it, but at least I procced the burn, you know, did some damage. Right after he heals is a good time to do the string if you time it correctly, and not a whole lot, but you know, if you know where to move, you can also land behind him when he's coming to you with that red attack. Obviously you can parry the red attack, which I didn't do, and just work his back. Some will be stolen, but eventually you'll get your backstab. I had much better attempts than this. I'll probably show you them, you know, before this, where it was much easier to get the backstabs, but you know, you get to the same point anyways. I have my full special, I have procced as well, so I'm trying whenever he stops meandering, I'm gonna go and do all that to see if I can proc, fire as fast as possible, and then parry the rest, you know? Try to get a little lucky here and there. Like I said, he's very messy, so you don't want to leave anything to chance. Once you beat this boss, you're gonna obtain a trophy. It is a 2-part trophy that you've been working on since you killed Veronique, where you kill each leader. I completely messed with my heavy attack there, but I landed the parry, so it wasn't too bad. I got the hard stab, and that's it for him. Honor and Revenge is the trophy. Kill the leader of the Bastards and the leader of the Sweepers. Honor was Veronique, and Revenge was what we got by killing Lumacchio.
Fellow, hear me out, please. I can explain everything, all of it. Please, just don't kill me. All this happened, all of it, because of the alchemist and their damned infighting. I had to pick a side. Don't you see? I'd have ended up like Veronique, or your precious legend. I had to choose. I chose Simon's side. I only did what he commanded. Please, I beg for mercy. If I did evil, it was not of my design, it was them. This isn't common knowledge. But when Valentinus ran things, she was, what was it, off limits. Whatever she got up to, we were told to ignore it, to pretend it wasn't happening. But even as Simon gathered more power and influence, she remained loyal to Valentinus, and when she and Simon came into direct conflict, a bounty was quietly and unofficially placed on her head. Competition was fierce. Veronique's faction targeted her repeatedly, and our side couldn't disobey orders. This is a mistake. But how? The alchemist gave me this elixir, no middleman. For the cure, it was complete. Worked on carcass, as they said. I was to have a Stronger body, one immune to disease and infection. I was to become. But no. It must have been a mistake. They gave me the wrong one. The wrong elixir. I must have treatment. I must. My good, kind fellow. Please. Sir. What? No. How could you? You promised. You promised you would let me live. Please. Please. They promised. The alchemists. I must go to them. I must go to them and get my cure. No. I was chosen!
A sad reveal to a tragic story at the end. You choose to kill him, you feel warmth, and yeah, he sold his soul for a cure to the petrification disease against the alchemists. He's saying how Valentimus and Manus are kind of at odds.
I'll be honest, it's the terrible conclusion that schemers like him face in the end. What a fall from grace. He had everything. Why throw it all away like this?
So he's like kind of revealing to be behind a lot of the instances in our path where we have had difficulties. So more than granted our revenge on him. I think the irony of the story was interesting though. Now that we are at the Stargazer, we have a couple of things that we can do from this opening here that we had after Lumakio. We can go to chapter 1 at the tram station and check the painting that we've been working on with the lady. She is deceased now, but we find a letter in her lap. It's a painter's sky, a painting created by Goddard, the blind painter, has been painting roughly with oil paints. The painter, trapped in darkness, yearned for a ray of light to illuminate her from within. That light was connected to a profound blue and strange sky. Something to keep in mind is the description of the sky being blue. To the one within the darkness, to the one who showed such kindness to this blind painter who had lost her sight. After you returned my lost art supplies, I became inspired and finished my painting. This painting. As time passes, I am certain the world will acknowledge its true worth. To that end, please show this painting to as many people as possible. So we can take this painting back. We also receive the clear blue sky. Open your eyes and look at the clear blue sky. Feel the night, which will end someday. Only time will tell. The clear blue sky, a song of how the landscape seen when the veil of time is lifted, may sometimes be the most beautiful sight. Another of the original songs of the DLC, beautiful one. I think this was my favorite. And now we have several things to do in Eventide Cry. From defeating Lumakio, we can also decipher the cipher. decipher the cipher. And we can hang the painting so as many people as possible can see the painting in the hotel. Maybe even in the future. Yeah, a little hint there as to what's to come. First, we listen to the song.
Open your eyes, open up the clear blue sky. I'll be there to hold you close in my mind. Can you see the snow melting down the sea below? Sail
beautiful as always. We had 2 songs in this episode, a big treat. Then we can talk to the tracker.
I can't believe the leader of the bastards was conspiring with the alchemists. I never realized their interests had become so entwined. Well, let me take a look at those clothes for a moment. You see this double lining? It contains a hidden pocket for hiding valuables. I'd hoped I wouldn't locate the key to this cipher machine inside. It would appear the noble reputation of the leader of the bastards was a facade. I'll decrypt it right away, so we can see what heinous deeds he was hiding. Lumacchio didn't simply cooperate with the alchemists. It appears he was Simon's hunting dog, stalking and killing those opposed to the alchemists. I am truly disappointed in Lumacchio. I thought him destined to become a shining pillar of light atop Krat. Considering who the lighthouse keeper betrayed, I doubt he escaped unscathed. Unless, of course, he'd prepared a hideout. If so, the only piece of advice I can give for finding its whereabouts is to put yourself in the shoes of the lighthouse keeper.
We obtained the decoded Froster cipher machine text, and it says, the target not found, reconnaissance of hideout unsuccessful, maintaining blockade as a standing warning to the target and all traders. My apologies, Sir Manus. Your disappointment is warranted, for I have failed you. In my defense, the treacherous fat swine had been hoarding and stealing from us since the very beginning, and no one of us saw it. I knew that lighthouse keeper was both insidious and audacious, but I never thought he would go for the elixir. I have no excuse. That said, I believe there is no longer need for concern. The target could not possibly have escaped the lighthouse. In the meantime, I shall blockade the seas themselves to make them an example of the traitor. The gluttonous grifter will have nothing to eat but his own flesh. As the tracker was saying, Lumacchio had become a bit of a hunting dog, not only side with the alchemist, but specifically side with Manus. The betrayal went further, because it was like a faction within the alchemists that he was siding with. And he's talking about how the lighthouse keeper was, hoarding some supplies, one of them being the cure. Turns out the very cure, quote-unquote cure, that would end up killing him. Well, I killed him technically, but you know what I mean. Would end up transforming him, I guess is the right word. So yeah, we don't have yet this cipher completed, but we're one step closer, and I'm sure in the next episode we will see what comes of it. I also wanted to check out the outfit that I got from Lumacchio. It says the golden snail's mask. The mask worn by the leader of the bastards. The pristine mask shows nowhere despite years of strife. His enemies called him slow and slippery like a snail. He created his golden mask to turn that slanderous name into a symbol of sophistication. Snails are my favorite animal, so I do like the mask quite a bit. His outfit says, the golden snail's tailcoat. The tailcoat worn by the leader of the bastards. It is a bespoke suit tailored for style and luxury. It is always best to treat others with grace and proper etiquette. Lumacchio, calming a disrupted crowd at a social gathering. The tracker mentions that Lumacchio was destined to be one of the pillars of Krat, and that it's a pity that he turned against the people, even though he was the leader of the bastards. But I don't know, personally, I think he was always a bit insidious or like double-handed in the way he treated us. Okay, I want to do one more thing. I want to level up a little bit my capacity, and I also want to, right here in the in the hotel, I want to find where to put the painting that we just got. I'm looking around thinking, oh, surely it's gotta be somewhere around here. And I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Well met, Master Stalker. Are you well?
And in the end, it turns out to be all the way over here in the right side. You adorn the wall with the painting, and there you have it. It looks slightly different than when we picked it up, but you know, there will be a time where it all is explained. Now, we can go back the coastal cave hideout and figure out what was that roundabout there that I owe you guys. Otherwise I would have finished the episode, but yeah, no, I don't want to leave you hanging with something that we were meant to explore, so I want to see what the coastal hideout had, so it is all in the same episode, the exploration of it. If you go up and to the right, you have a little enemy and a boulder that falls from the sky. Nothing that you can deal with. Just a little tricksy. And at the end you can fall to a smaller platform and open a box that contains a Legion caliber, in case you wanted to upgrade any of the new arms that you have gotten in the DLC. If you continue in the cave a little ahead, you can see like the Bayonetta guys fighting some monsters. I let them cook, and whenever they were done, I was about to fight the loser, but I also saw there was a monster in the distance, so I prefer to run cautiously, if that's okay. I went over to one with a string, parried the other one. Slightly bad parry, but you know. I know people who don't even want to parry the bullets. The other day I was asking Howie if he could parry some of the bullets, and he was like, parry the bullets. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit silly for having parry. We have this big monster here. We can totally do this guy, right? We have a special as well. I feel capable. He's like a mess. I buffed with fire. I let him do his little thing, and I went in with my special. Always so special. And a heavy attack that whiffed. Oh boy, that almost killed me. You know what? I procced with fire. He's not too bad. He's doing half the things very far away from me and all confused. Once I have that visceral attack, he's destroyed to smithereens. You get a full stone out of that. And the little bait at the end, where he would have fallen, I assume, was a radiant ergo. If you keep going up the path where he was standing, you'll get to like an upstairs situation here. Not a lot of enemies or anything here, just sort of a continuation. And we hear a puppet talking about having a crown, an imperial crown, and wanting to see Adelina as well. I think it's a puppet. I don't know. Maybe a man? Anyways, he dies in one hit and you get the puppet's prince imperial crown, which, if you remember, another character ways ago in the circus, the merchant had mentioned sort of a crown like that. So if you take that crown back to him, he has a reaction to the crown. You don't need to take it, it's just a little tidbit kind of thing. And you can see this wraps around straight back to the snowy area outside the second boat that you enter. So it was a dead end. It wasn't, it wasn't too hard. Let's read what the crown says. The puppet's Prince Imperial crown. It was worn during the Red actress Adelina Corday's most popular performance. The celestial voice captivated many with its dreamlike performances. The crown was cherished as the symbol of those performances, but in the end, it vanished like a dream. We know Adelina from base game, Snow White and Rose Red sort of situation. We fight the White Mask and we find her poison as well. I think it's with an apple later on. It's a strange mix of the two fables though, since the real Snow White has nothing to do with Snow White and Rose Red. But I guess this crown is a throwback to that. We can take it to the merchant in the circus. That's the one who takes it. We upgrade the capacity and we leave it there for today. Now that we've sort of explored all the little nooks and crannies that I had left undone before the boss, it was a bit of a mess of an episode. And I feel like it reflects the state of my life right now because I am a bit of a mess myself as well. I hope you enjoy watching. I hope you have a good day. And I hope to see you soon in the next episode. Yeah, not too many more episodes left. I think maybe a couple more. Yeah. I hope you have a good day. It was nice hanging out. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.